If you operate a small business, you know you're going to encounter many problems. Some of them are so serious that you really wonder whether you can survive them. Of course, problems have a plus side, too. If you and your business are strong enough to overcome those inevitable setbacks, you know that you're on the right track.
PhoneSource owner Stephen Wu discovered his right track with encouragement from the woman who is now his wife. He gave up an acting career for a real job, he says, and that job led to his present business. What does PhoneSource do?
The name of our industry is called Interconnect. Okay, Interconnect is a business of selling, installing, and servicing business telephone systems. And that's what we do. We're the largest Panasonic dealer in the Western region, and we're in the top 5 in the nation.
Stephen, how did you get to be the #1 Panasonic digital telephone systems dealer in the Western region?
By just really focusing on one product, becoming an expert on that product. A lot of companies out there, they try to be everything to everyone. It's our philosophy to be good at one thing rather than mediocre at a lot of things.
Stephen, what were you doing before you started PhoneSource?
I used to be an actor. I kind of grew up in the business. I used to work as an actor, extra, worked a lot as a child in war movies. And kind of stayed in the business, used it to get through college, and worked until I was about 25 in the motion picture business.
And then you got into the phone service business?
Yes.
And how did that all work out? How did you make the jump from being an actor on camera to...
Well, I never really felt comfortable being an actor. I always felt that my destiny was in the hands of the casting director, the producer, and the writers, okay? I was working steadily, but I never felt I could become a star. And to be quite honest with you, I got tired of going out for stereotypical parts. My wife was working for this travel agency, and she had a chance to talk to this salesperson who was there trying to sell him a telephone system. And she found out that this girl, just out of college, about 20 years old, she was making about $60,000 a year. Wow. And that got my interest. So I looked into the industry. With deregulation of the telephone company, I saw a tremendous opportunity. Okay, here you have a situation where you have a 100-year-old industry selling a product and service that everybody uses. And they use it at their home, office, in cars, and public places. Doing billions of dollars of business a year. It's opened up overnight. So I thought, gee, there's got to be some opportunities here. Started off in sales working for another company. And this particular company, they had a mandate that unless the client had at least 20 telephones, we were not supposed to waste our time talking to them. Okay, and we constantly got calls from people wanting 5, 6, 7 telephones. And we had to turn them away.
At what point did you decide to start PhoneSource?
Well, I've always been the type that really never wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I always wanted to build the corporate ladder. Okay, so I positioned myself, I got the sales job just to really learn about the business to ultimately open my own company.
What kind of financing did you have to begin your company?
Total investment, $500 initially. I said, you know, what the heck, what's $500? So I started the company in my den, and $500 cost to cover the cost of installing the business line, business cards, stationery, getting some products, and getting an answering service. And I put on a good facade. I had a good professional presence. And from that first week, I sold my first system, got my whole investment back, and I was elated.
Was it ever difficult for you starting out?
It was difficult, but it was exciting, and there was a niche there. And that was my entree into the business, was selling small systems to small companies on a professional basis.
How does a small company like yours compete with the big guys like Pactel, AT&T?
If a company is open-minded, most of them are, if they look at us on an equal basis with the other companies, they'll see a lot of advantages when dealing with a small company like ours. We can offer better prices because we have less overhead, offer better service, and just a closer touch to the marketplace.
You had a significant recognition by the LA Business Journal recently. Tell us about that.
This was last year. They came out with an issue. It was their list of the 35 top interconnect companies in Los Angeles, and we were ranked number 18. Wow. And out of the group, we were the fastest growing of all the companies.
Is there a downside to that?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
You become complacent when you see steady growth. Okay, profits have always been there. And we've just really concentrated on growing, not concentrating on keeping costs down.
Right.
Okay, so we were in this growth mode, and all of a sudden we're hit by recession. We're hit by a possible war and higher fuel costs, higher overhead. Okay, then all of a sudden we realize that, hey, we better slow down and look at things. We're going to have to be selective as to what companies we go after. There's certain industries that are not doing too well. There's certain industries that are doing fine.
That are flourishing
We
anyway.
have to go after those.
How's your wife involved?
She does a lot of things. She's helps in marketing. She helps in accounts receivables, and she handles a lot of paperwork.
And your future goals for Phone Source?
Future goals is to become #1 dealer in the nation, to have multiple offices, to become recognized as being one of the leaders in the industry, and to eventually make the Inc. magazine top 100 companies in California.
You can imagine starting to sell phones from the trunk of your car and growing to
What he's doing is
to
better
what
than
he's
acting.
doing
You can
today.
starve as an actor. I'll tell you.
Exactly. And it's interesting to note, Larry, that Stephen started his business 5 years ago by choosing a niche. He determined that most phone sales companies didn't want to serve the small mom-and-pop businesses, so he did it. And since becoming the #1 Panasonic phone dealer in the Western region, his goal is to be the #1 phone system service company in the country.